Okay, give you a quick idea where I'm at. Jensen Park right across the street and Jensen Avenue. Start this morning's walk. Okay, what I'm doing this morning is I'm doing a bit of a loop in DuPont, hitting some of the trails that we got here. And this is DuPont, Washington, of course. What's happened is that we've been on a lockdown for over a month, and the governor is finally lifting some of the restrictions, opening the state lands for hiking, and one of my favorite golf courses. Yeah, you gotta feel sorry for the high school seniors this year, or any senior really that's graduating. No ceremonies. I'm sure they're going to do them later. The problems in DuPont, they planted the wrong trees, so the trees' roots are pushing up the sidewalks. And you see this with a little danger orange sign. I'm glad they did that. A lot of people fall flat on the face after tripping over those things. So here's our first trail. Didn't see a trail marker. They usually have all the trails marked. So I'll bring you up on the snuff. DuPont is named after the DuPont Corporation, of course, that had a gunpowder factory in the town. And what they call a historic DuPont is with the original town. And what we are in now is called Northwest Landing, which is an addition that was built, I want to say from 2000, 2002, around that area. Might have been a little bit before then, but not much after. Sorry, not much before then. Because it was built from the ground up, so they put sidewalks in, trails like this, little wetlands. It's a beautiful place and lots of parks. So it's a great place to get out and exercise. We're in the middle of the COVID thing now. Like I say, the governor's just announced some easing of restrictions. You know, that's pretty sad, isn't it? It's like I'm going to have to come and do this with my bag. Pick up the bottles. Lots of animals too. We got deer and rabbits and raccoons. Not seen a raccoon for a while. So anyway, over here is Patriots Landing, and you can walk over that way. I'm going to go this way. Patriots Landing is a housing area for our elderly veterans. Ooh, look at the flowers here. I'm from England originally. These remind me of bluebells in England. Gorgeous. I think. So we're at McNeil Street, which is pretty much the main thoroughfare up to the western end of Northwest Landing. Went across here. Man, you're loaded. Hi. So now we're leaving Bob's Hollow Lane, and we're going on Gary Oaks. Powderworks Park is over here, and that has something to do with the gunpowder factory. But I hear different versions why it's called Bob's Hollow. One, I heard that he used to work at a gunpowder factory, and he was riding one day and he fell off his bike and caused a hollow. And the other one was, it was a Native American, Bob, and he was murdered by a local militia. And this plant here is called Scotch broom, and I believe it was brought over here, I think from Europe, and it's invasive. And the problem with it is it sucks all the moisture out of the ground and dries up, and during fire season this is a hazard because it's like tinder. So I think there's well, they started eradicating it in Powderworks Park. Notice that. But I heard you have to dig it up at the roots to get rid of it. Gary Oaks Park is right here, and this is McNeil at the top. And what I'm doing, I'm going parallel to McNeil without the traffic. So I'm on Braggett. Holy cow. A lot of dogs barking in that house. Crossing Fisher. Must have a Canadian fan around here. I think I had my Cross of St. George flying on St. George's Day. I'm walking in the middle of the road because I can. And you gotta be careful here because the trail we want is right here. You know, when you're walking down somebody's yard. And it's hard to find. Here it is. Ooh, look at the cherry blossoms. Beautiful. And this will be the first officially marked trail we'll go on today. Yeah, follow it this way, you'll end up on Center Drive. You follow it this way, you'll end up in the business district, and that's where we're headed today. And I'm not sure if I got a better view of it, but just in case. This is, I believe this is Edmonds Marsh. It's part of the wetland that they maintained here. And of course, most life starts in the wetlands, so kudos to the original designers. I was doing this one day, I took a photograph, put it on Facebook, and somebody said, looks like you're in Middle Earth. And when the pub's open, there's a bird here, I thought it was a statue at first, it just sits there. Like when the pub's open, this is the way I come. A nice leisurely walk to the pub, have a couple of pints. So better view of, like I say, I'm pretty sure it's Edmonds Marsh. And I'm pretty sure we have beavers in DuPont. I've never seen one. And here we go, our first trail marker. And it's November. And somebody's gone around, make sure you keep your 6 foot social distance. So we're back to McNeil. And we're going to walk up McNeil a little bit. So we're in the downtown part of the Northwest Landing. They're trying to promote you during this crisis to shop at small businesses. One of the greatest things I think they built here was the Ace Hardware. We got our brewskis here, a pizza and chicken wings, I believe. Wings and pizza and beer. Downtown areas across the street, across the parking lot here, and one of my favorite places, McNamara's, is there. That's where I go for a pint. And we got Forelli's, pretty good pizza, real good pizza actually. And we got a Mexican restaurant, I forget what it's called, Viva something. And then all your regular, we got the DuPont Cafe and Mint's Mercantile. Give a quick plug for the Super Buffet there. There's another one of my favorites, especially on a weekend. You go in there and you pay less than 20 bucks. And pretty much all you can eat oysters and lobster. However, they're not the big lobster tails you used to. They're just small lobsters, and it's like cut in half. And they put them out sparingly. Obviously, they're not going to put a shitload out. But still a favorite of mine. They have roast duck. It's the only place I know around here you can get roast duck. It's delicious. Okay, with Palisade. Something smells good. Someone's cooking bacon for breakfast, but it smells wet. And just get your bearings. I-5 is that away. I just saw some cars running over the top there, probably on I-5. Our post office and more of Northwest Landing is down this way. And State Farm Insurance is over here. Big insurance complex, State Farm. And looks like they got the kiddies out. Probably from the child care center there. Next to Ace Harbor. So now what I'm doing is walking on the, what I call the State Farm complex, for a better word. But you can see these parking lots are empty. I'm sure these are filled up during the regular workday. There's a park over here where the cars are. That's called Clock Tower Park, believe it or not. Might have something to do with the clock tower. You know, these cedar chips, mulch, I guess you call it, and the smell of cedar is just beautiful. Now this road continues up to Wilmington again towards I-5. So if you miss this turn, don't panic. You can turn left at the top, and near the, just beyond the Northwest Landing sign, you'll see a trail. That's the same trail I'm going to end up on by going this way. But you want to come this way. And again, you stay away from the noise of I-5. And you want to do that. Oh, those winds are not going to be really accurate. Got an anemometer there. You know, anybody know what an anemometer is? It's how you measure the wind speed. Well, that should be up in the above any kind of obstruction. I'm sure the trees are obstructions there. So not an accurate wind speed by that piece of equipment. How do I know? As a weather guy. So like I say, if you do miss that turn, you come down this trail. The Northwest Landing sign on Wilmington's just up there. And you can take the hardtop or the trail. Doesn't matter, they both meet. You take the high road, I'll take the low road. I'll be in Scotland before you. For me and my true love, we'll never meet again. On the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Look at the blossoms. We're in springtime. It's May 1st on Friday. Today is Tuesday. April 28th. And it's, I would say, about mid-50s. Like I say, no rain. Beautiful out. Good morning. Try and give you a 6 foot.
Just about.
Yeah. So like I say, the governor. So anyway, I was saying the governor is open, next week is opening the state parks and hiking trails again, and the golf courses, which I'm pretty excited about. Yeah, there we go, part of historic DuPont. We've still got to do social distancing. So what I just did with that lady there, I stepped off the trail, and that's something you should do. Come on in. So it says Grand Junction is 0.6 now, and where these guys are going into historic DuPont, continue on and go to the right, you'll come up to where the old dynamite train is, and eventually get to the museum. And if you look here, you'll see Grand Junction is 0.6 of a mile, just a little over half a mile. And that'll take you a Grand Junction of gravel roads like this. If you want to see what that looks like, look at my video biking DuPont bike ride. I'm not going there today, but you can do a nice loop around and come back to where I'm coming now. That's not part of this trip. You can make it longer if you want to do that. That's fine. You can make it longer if you want to do that. That's fine. Come back, and if you want a long hike, come back down Grand Junction, go across Center Drive to City Hall, and go down the Sequelichu Trail, and then come back up that. That'll add 3 miles to your walk. And on my right here is Chloe Clark Elementary School. Here we go. Chloe Clark. And I believe Chloe Clark was the first teacher in this area. First American school teacher to come to the Puget Sound region. Can you imagine that? She was unmarried, 22 years old. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Kids have got to have battery-operated scooters. I'm sorry. But she taught at the Fort Nisqually, and if you see my Sequelichu Trail, using my Sequelichu Trail video, you'll see the history of Fort Nisqually. And this is Chloe Clark Elementary School. So I'm parallel now with Center Drive. You don't want to walk down Center Drive, obviously, because it's a pretty busy street. So we're going to be looking for Bob's Hollow again. You're going to cross over to Bob's Hollow. It's funny, when I was a kid in school and the school shut down, we were delighted. Here we go, we're back on Bob's Hollow, or at least we're going to turn left on Bob's Hollow. Okay, we're at Center Drive, and this is what the main road I crossed before, traffic light. That was Center Drive. So we've done the big loop. I can say 2 thoroughfares we got across, Center Drive and McNeil. And over there is a Pioneer Middle School. We don't have a high school, that's in Stellacom. But that's why a young girl was practicing her golf yesterday and she lost, I don't know, what, 5 balls? I got 17 seconds, 15. Good. So the kids got a football field, a soccer field, baseball. And there's a running track around the football field that a lot of the residents use. That's pretty nice. And now we're going into Powderworks Park. You can see the running track there. You can see somebody running around it. Something. When I first came to America, you'd be very, very surprised to see is a soccer field, but now they're all over the place. Kids in America love soccer, and they can play soccer with minimum equipment, whereas football, you got to have all the pads and everything. Flag football is better. You can have just got the flags and the ball, I guess. But soccer is my game. Hey, how you doing? You got company today, huh? Hey. You going to give up that ball or what? They got all the gym equipment, all the playground equipment sealed off so you can't play. So this is Powderworks Park. This park used to be a farm, because most places in this area probably was farmed at one time. There was a guy called Cox and a guy called Highland, which are 2 streets near where I live, that used to farm here. Here we go, a little historical marker talking about the Orr farm site. Troy Cox. There's Cox, and there's another guy called Highland. And supposedly you should be able to see the footings of the old farmhouse, but I'm not sure. But you can see the footings of the silos. Those are still around. Here's one. So I can't imagine the silos being too far away from the farm. There's a baseball field, and this is full on a summer's day. You got the kids playing baseball. You got parents cheering them on. You got guys over on the soccer field. You got joggers, walkers. It's just a wonderful little town to live. So what I'm doing, I'm going to cross Bob's Hollow here and go over to the trail behind the Pioneer School. Okay, see, these are not actually trails. These are so people can access their garages. I've done this one before. If you see my video where I did the tree tunnel, I think I call it DuPont Walking. Might have to change the name on that one. Like I say, the Pioneer School's up there. The home course, the golf course, is over here. Oh, we're going this way. Sounds a bit raspy. Well, somebody took the sign off. Oh, they put it around here. This is Echo Trail. So we're going to go down this street. I think it's called Cisco. Oh, Simmons was the name of the street I came on. This is part of the storm water system. Also a haven for the red-winged blackbirds. And usually we have some waterfowl on this, but for some reason, unless they ate all the food and that's it. Usually we have mallards and boffleheads, I think they're called. And also I noticed just recently you get a lot of swallows. And you know, something I learned as a kid in England, you'd never see a swallow land on the ground because they got such short legs. It's almost impossible for them to get flight again. But I'm walking along here one day and the swallow lands right in front of me. Well, that must be a different breed of swallow. Oh, that's something I should have showed you while I was in Powderworks Park, where they came along, the people in the I'm guessing the city, excuse me, came along and chopped down all the Scotch broom. I mean, they're pretty flowers, and you'll see some embankments just covered in them. But like I say, they're not native to this area, and they're invasive. Don't have to say any more, do I? Okay, we're back on Jensen Avenue. So here's Jensen Park. This is McNeil, where the cars are on, and I started across the street where the American flag is. So we finish. Well, one thing I want to do, take a walk over here, because I did say we should see the Olympics. And that freaks me out every time I come down here. I know it's there. I've never actually seen an actual owl. People have photographed them and shown them, you know, but I've never actually seen an owl. To the wildlife refuge is just south of this, and they said that there were what's that noise for? And the signs up saying that they were nesting, the owls were nesting on off a boardwalk. But I kept an eye out, but I didn't see any. No, you just can't see them. Just too many clouds. Oh, you can just barely make them out. Sorry. You won't be able to see them on the GoPro. They're right on the horizon over here. And this is the pond I just walked by. And of course you can see the golf course, absolutely empty, because it's closed because of the pandemic. But opening on 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo. So that's it. Go by and irritate this dog one more time. But normally you can, I mean, a nice clear day, and today's not, probably later this afternoon, you can see the Olympic Mountains. So from DuPont you can see the Olympic Mountains to the west and Mount Rainier to the east. Beautiful. And like I say, in front of me is Jensen Park, so this is it. I've been walking about a little over 2 hours. Probably did about 5 or 6 miles. It's a glorious walk. And don't forget to check my other videos. I've done one on Sequelichu. I've done one that I called DuPont Walking. I'm probably going to have to change the title of that to well, in all trails they call it the Sequelichu Loop. But I go down the tree tunnel, down to the Sequelichu Trail and up to City Hall and down past the Pioneer School. And I've also done a bike ride of DuPont. So I've done quite a few on the Hoffman Hill Trail. So check my videos out. That's all for today.